Do you know why I love my job? It's not because I get to drive supercars every day. I mean, today I'll be reviewing a Hyundai i30, which is no Ferrari despite the red paint. But I start filming early and I get to see many sunrises. There, I had my fix of natural beauty and now it's time to bring out the gimp. Wait a minute.
Third generation Hyundai i30 is not at all ugly. Unlike Volkswagen Golf, which changes less with every generation, i30 is more mature, and over 10 years it transformed from a cheap shopping trolley into a car which you can actually find in the parking lot. The interior is somewhat less impressive. I get the feeling Hyundai is driven by design department but kept in check by the accountants. You approach this beautiful car, open the boot and find a couple of hooks, okay, a 12-volt socket, very good, and nothing else.
And this is not a base trim car, it's actually a special launch edition which will set you back around 22,000 euro. Now I realize this launch edition may not be available in other markets, but price-wise this car is up there with the Golf.
395-liter boot is on par with Peugeot 308. You'll find significantly larger boots only in Honda Civic and Skoda Octavia. In the back it's not as cramped as in a Renault Megane, but there is not as much legroom as in a Honda Civic. Seats split 40-60. On higher trim cars you'll get double boot floor, which would allow for a flat loading area. There would also be an armrest with some cup holders and a ski hatch. This limited edition gets 16-inch alloys, rear parking sensors, automatic dual-zone climate control and cruise control.
One thing that remains unchanged in Hyundais is the interior smell. Different car companies will use different plastics, fabrics, glues. I'm sure that some companies even have special olfactory departments which specialize in matching the interior smell to the target group suit color. I'm sure there are people like that, but they're not working for Hyundai, because when hot, this interior smells more like a Far Eastern sweatshop than a 20+ grand car.
Sure, a couple of minutes with the AC on or an open window and the smell disappears. I see no other major problems. Functionality department is where Hyundai excels. There is a smartphone cubby with USB 3.5mm and a 12-volt socket. There is storage under the armrest, average size glove box, cup holders, and a place to store bottles in the door bins. Instrument cluster is legible, there is radio, Bluetooth. Accountants must be drinking their yak ju, all pleased with themselves. But if you want all the goodies like keyless entry and ignition or adaptive cruise control, you'll have to go all the way to the premium trim, which will set you back at least 26,000 euro. By the way, this car is powered by a 1.0 3-cylinder petrol engine which makes 120 horsepower. Other engine choices include a 100 horsepower 1.4 naturally aspirated power plant available only on 2 lowest trim models, 140 horsepower 1.4 turbo, and 1.6 diesels with power ranging between 95 and 136 horsepower. The 1-liter turbo engine is less than 1,000 euro cheaper than the 1.4-liter turbo, so you really have to want one.
Beside it being expensive, it also uses more fuel than Hyundai's claimed 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Combined, anything below 7 is a good result. At motorway speed, you'll easily reach 8. On paper, 1.4 engines have similar claimed fuel economy, so as much as I like this little 3-banger and the power it delivers, I consider it a whim.
Okay, enough of whinging, now let's talk about the positives. Besides the vibrating 0.9 TCE engine in the new Nissan Micra, I like 3-cylinder engines. This one doesn't vibrate, but it likes to be revved. Eco Nani takes it easy when it comes to shifting up. Around the city, you're unlikely to leave 4th gear. Interesting, because in the previous generation Civic, computer told me to shift into 6th as soon as I hit 60 km per hour. 6-speed manual works nice and easy. I wouldn't mind a shorter throw, but this is not a sports car. Driving position is comfortable, steering is light, but...
Surprise! If you give the i30 the beans on a twisty road, it turns out the steering is actually quite precise and the car is engaging, and there's no problem like in the Kia Optima where steering is precise only on initial turn-in and then it can't keep up. In this car I can feel everything all the way throughout the corner, and gosh, is this thing good. Now, probably not many i30 owners will drive the car so fast as to feel how good the steering is, but someone's done a really good job here. Another positive is the suspension. I recall over the years all Hyundais made terrible sounds when going over potholes, as if a wheel was about to come off or something. The new i30 drives over bumps with a pleasant thump, thump, like in an expensive car. Good dumping is important. Oh, and another positive are the brakes. Let me demonstrate. Now, I shall press the brake pedal like in an Opel Mokka that I drove a couple of days ago, and we'll see what happens. This is just sort of initial braking in a Opel Mokka. Oh! Yeah. That's how good the brakes are.
Visibility in the mirrors is good, but massive C-pillars obstruct visibility over the shoulder, and even small windows behind the rear doors don't help. Prices start at 17,500 euro, but realistically a mid-range petrol car will cost you 25 grand, similar to the Golf. If you'll go with the diesel, i30 is going to be slightly cheaper than a Golf.
Hyundai i30 is definitely a decent car in the sense that it perfectly imitates Volkswagen Golf. Visually it's interesting enough to look good in the driveway, but at the same time proper and boring. However, the Golf has over 40 years of history and the Halo GTI model. And Hyundai i30? The quality is there, but what about badge appeal? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Share, rate, subscribe, and if you like what I do, please consider supporting me on Patreon or PayPal. Links below. Also watch more of my reviews and join me for regular new episodes every Friday. And press that bell icon to be up to date with other stuff I post every now and then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.